deer. What a beautiful night, my friends. Take a look at that moon. Man, that is a pretty cool bridge if you ask me. Hey there folks, Luke here with the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you're all doing well. Tonight, for this episode, we are doing a night hike. Now, not too long ago, I did a video about being afraid of the dark and basically all the things that go bump. Well, since then, I've received a number of requests to go out and do a night hike and bring you guys along, so that's what we're gonna do. And let me tell you guys, it is a beautiful night tonight. Oh man. We're gonna do a little bit more hiking and we'll stop. We'll do some talking too. Beautiful out here. Now we have a car coming up the mountain here, and this is going to be the last sign of people that we're gonna see for a long time. And that's pretty much because we are out here all by ourselves, going out for a beautiful night hike. Now this trek here is going to be about 5 miles. It's about 2.5 miles up, 2.5 miles down, and this is what is known as the Fire Tower Trail. If you can't guess why it's called that, you'll see when we're about halfway done. Now for this adventure, I am testing out some new gear, and one piece of that happens to be this chest rig from Hill People Gear. So far, I really like this thing. This thing is awesome. I got that today, and I'm pretty excited to be testing it out. So far, very comfortable. Very breathable too. Talking about it being comfortable and breathable, we might as well talk about the temperatures. It is early October, and it is a very comfortable 50 degrees at the moment. Probably be 45 degrees at the coldest point tonight. And I tell you what, my friends, already this fall, it has been a true battle with the weather. I've been trying to get out to go camping for you guys, for myself, and it hasn't been easy. Rain, snow already, high winds. What do you do, right? What do you do? Look at that full moon. Woo! I have always thought this tree here is really cool. I love all those shoots off of it. It's pretty sweet. Now, at the moment, I'm hearing some howling noises. Doesn't really sound like coyotes, but you never know. Could be. If I hear them again, I'll try to record it. Really, it sounded more like people, really, than animals. But you never know. We are in the woods here. We have coyotes. We do have wolves. They've been reintroduced into the area. But I have only seen 2 in my entire life. As you can see here, we came out of the woods, out onto this big field here. It's absolutely beautiful. Up here in the corner is a gravesite. We're going to go up there and check it out. So right here is the gravesite, my friends. Pretty cool place. And as you can see there, Moses H. Cone. What a gorgeous night to be out for a walk. And apparently some other people had the same idea as well, because 2 other hikers just passed me going up to the fire tower. We'll probably catch up with them at the top. I figured I would show you guys this gravesite and give you guys a little bit of the history here. Basically, we're at a place known as the Moses Cone Manor. And this is one of the trails that kind of goes off of this manor. And this is a really cool place. no doubt about it. Some great trails. We come out here all the time, me and my buddies. Sometimes I come out by myself. They say that this place is haunted. Now maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Later on, I will share a story with you all, an odd experience. Actually, I'll share a couple of odd experiences with you, but we'll save that for later. Now here with the Cone grave, there's quite a bit of history to it. This individual was very, very well off. This is part of a humongous property. I want to say it's a couple thousand acres, but when he passed away, they buried him here. But grave robbers came up, dug up his grave looking for valuables, and so after that, they buried his body someplace on this property, and nobody knows where. That's pretty cool. And supposedly, either Moses Cone himself or his wife still roams the trails here. Pretty interesting. Definitely the Moses Cone Manor, which I will show you guys at the very end of this trip. We'll make a little trek over to it. Without a doubt, I've heard so many people say that that place is haunted. I've talked to park rangers. I've talked to individuals who actually work there. It's kind of like a craft shop now. They say it's haunted. And I've heard things coming from that place. No doubt about it. But like I said, we'll talk about that later. As I mentioned, the weather has been a big hindrance on our ability to get out and go backpacking for the September trip. It looks like it's going to be an October trip since September's already passed us. But there's a couple of reasons for that. At the end of September, Susan's mother, she passed away. She lost her fight with cancer. So that was a pretty traumatic experience. I could be honest with you folks. It was as I feared. She definitely suffered at the end. It was pretty rough. So she's definitely in a better place. There's no doubt about that. So that really shook things up for a couple of weeks there. Lots of things to do. And then, as I mentioned, that weather. I mean, it just came in like a lion. It snowed one night. First snow right at the beginning of October. That's pretty crazy. And with that typical fall weather, we have lots of rain. We have lots of wind. So really, I'm just trying to pick a time where I can get out and actually film. And I tell you, my friends, hiking in the wind is great. Hiking in the rain is great. But trying to record a video in those conditions is not great. It's not easy. So every single time I check out the weather, I try to plan, or I'll be like, okay, I'm going tomorrow. They're not calling for rain until at nighttime, so I'll have a good time to travel and to set up camp and all that stuff. And it just completely backfires. The rain comes in like 11 o'clock. We'll get there though, I'm not worried. And when we do, we'll have a great time. We might as well hit the trail again and get up to the fire tower. Now, talking about the weather, today, rain. Tonight, it's supposed to rain. Later on, it was a small little break, so I figured, hey, let's get out. Let's do some walking. Oh yeah. As you can see here, very powerful flashlight. This is the ThruNite T12 2014. Over 1,000 lumens. Very impressive flashlight, no doubt. I'm going to go ahead and do a 360 for you here. So you guys can see basically where I'm hiking at. Woo! We're just about to go back into the woods, make our way up to the fire tower. We probably still have at least another mile or so to go. Now the last time that I was out here, it was back in the winter. And I came out here with a friend of mine. Pouring the snow, super windy, super cold. There's probably 6 inches of snow on the ground. It's probably about 12 degrees. Everything was iced up. So we get to the top. There's no tracks in the snow. Start coming back down, and we found some bobcat tracks that had followed us all the way up the mountain. Man, oh man. The city lights look beautiful up here. Right before we go into the woods, I'll show them to you. So here's the city lights. Woo! Very pretty. This is just a small town right here. There may be 2 stoplights, something like that. But past that, you have some really big cities. Much bigger than I like. As you can see here, we're back into the woods, trucking along, going to the top. Now, besides the chest rig that I'm wearing here, I am also testing out a couple of flashlights. I've been using the TN12 or the T12, whatever they call it, for a long time. Great flashlight. Just about time for the review to come up. In my pack here, I have a couple more, which I'll switch over to a little bit later. But in addition to the flashlights, the chest rig, I'm also wearing a new pair of shoes. Check these out. These are a pair of Go Light shoes. So far, I have to say that I like them quite a bit. Very lightweight, very comfortable. One thing that I really like about them is that they come with like 2 or 3 different pairs of insoles. So if you have a very narrow foot, there's an insole that takes up more space. If you have a wide foot, they have an insole that takes up less space. So the shoes can really be tailored for your fit. That's a very smart way to go about it. Now, if there was a negative to night hiking, my friends, it would be all of the freaking spiders. Gosh, there are so many spider webs just strung up all over the place. You will play that game of just pulling them off your face. You'll feel them on your arms. Sometimes you'll have some gigantic spiders coming down from the trees. If you have a fear of spiders, this is a great way to get over it. Let's go out here for a second, guys. Check out this view. Woo, yeah. Pretty good ways down. But look at those city lights. Gorgeous. Now, I was thinking, folks, when we started our trip and we were coming up here, maybe half a mile in, we heard some howling, or at least I heard some howling. I don't know if the camera picked it up or not. And I said it sounded like humans. And I'm pretty sure it's the 2 hikers who passed me a little while ago. So as we get closer to the top, I'm going to start howling just to see how they like it. We'll see what they have to say when we meet them at the top there. Go ahead and take a second, my friends, and enjoy the noises of the night. All right. Well, I can hear voices, so I'm going to go ahead and howl. Oh! Let's see how this goes. Well, I definitely set off the dogs. I hear some dogs barking. We're coming up on another pretty cool place here. Nice little overlook. Check out the city lights. Here they come. How's it going, guys?
Good, how you doing?
Pretty good. How's the view?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Awesome.
Hey, did you hear that howl?
Yeah, it was me.
Oh man, you scared the shit out of us.
Were you guys howling like,
No,
I don't know, before?
Earlier I got to the top of the overlook or whatever, and yeah, I let out a big howl.
Yeah, see, I was like, man, what the heck was that?
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah,
I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to give him back to him, you
Okay.
know? Yeah.
You got it. Okay.
Awesome.
We deserve that.
Take care. Woohoo! So, guys, what'd you think about that? That was pretty funny. I think I scared him just a little bit. Shoot. I love it. Kind of sounds like we scared them off the mountain here. They seem like some pretty friendly kids. That's great, man. It makes me happy when I see people out enjoying nature, doing it with a friend, just having a great time and enjoying it. That's freaking awesome. Before we get to the top, and it's just way too windy that you guys may not hear me, I just want to say thank you all so very much for all your thoughts and prayers with Susan's mom. I really can't begin to tell you guys how much it means to me, how much it means to her. It definitely means a lot. But of course, death is just a part of life, my friends. The clock is ticking for all of us, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can try to extend your life by taking care of your body, eat right, exercise, but ultimately, there is an end time. That is why I love getting out and exploring the world. You can't live your life in fear, my friends. You do have to have common sense, though. This is pretty steep here at the end, but we're definitely getting close. It's not too far off now at all. We'll be there in about 5 minutes. Those freaking spider webs are everywhere. I can't help but be tickled with those kids. Just giving the howl back to them, that's all. Now, where we are headed is actually just right up there. See it in just a couple minutes. Smells like a dirty beast up here, like a wet dog. Probably deer out in the woods, possibly a bear. And here is the fire tower. Man, that is a heck of a structure on top of this mountain. Pretty cool fallen tree here. Great place to tie up your horses, or you can tie them up over here. Oh yeah. Well, my friends, we have made it to the fire tower. We might as well go to the top, check out the view. That's our reward. Let's go. So my friends, we have made it to the top. You can see the city lights behind me. Then check out those city lights. Very, very cool. Gosh, absolutely gorgeous. Now, as a test, I have this makeshift windscreen that I've been working on. It's a piece of foam. I'm gonna give it a shot. Just a little something that I kind of thought of. We'll see how well it does. All right. Piece of foam with a rubber band. Let's get to work. Well, the little makeshift windscreen is now on. We'll have to see how good the audio quality is. The winds up here are probably gusting to about 25 miles an hour. Sustained winds around 10, something like that. Honestly, now that I've been hiking around, this is so incredibly comfortable. It really is. You might be wondering, what am I wearing tonight? And I have a long sleeve shirt on with a black wool shirt and just a pair of shorts. Let's go ahead and take a look at the city. That is gorgeous, guys. And of course, the moon is beautiful, nice and full. Ooh, it's so windy, I can't hardly hold it still. Now, before we go down, I'll show you guys the bottom. We are quite a ways up, no doubt about it. Well, my friends, it's time to get off this thing. It's time to head back. Perfect night. Now, of course, we have to go back down without killing ourselves. Whew. Very steep. Now, I get asked fairly often when I'm out and about camping, night hiking, stuff like that, do I ever see UFOs? And honestly, sadly, I don't. Only one time in my life have I ever seen anything that I could consider a UFO. And I guess I was probably, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13, something like that. I was waiting for the school bus with my twin brother. We had to get on the bus super duper early because the bus route was really, really long. They didn't have enough school buses. So we had to get down at the bus stop like at 5:30. And we would get on the bus, and it would always come at a different time. So sometimes it'd be 5:45, sometimes it'd be 6 o'clock. You never knew when. So on the warm nights, we would just lay down on the driveway and stare up at the stars. So one morning, we're laying out there, staring up in the sky, and there's this, what looks to be like a star, right? And I'll use the flashlight here and demonstrate what it was doing. So you have firefly mode here. So this star is going across the sky real slow. And then all of a sudden, it just starts doing like these crazy movements like this, like figure eights, and flying in circles, and zipping from one end of the sky to the other. It's just really, really crazy. That is the only unexplained, unidentified flying object I have ever seen. And I can tell you guys without a doubt, it was not a fighter jet, it was not an airplane. Let me tell you, nothing can move like that thing was moving. What about you all? Have you guys ever seen anything? Any UFOs? If you have, I'd love to hear the stories. Please comment down below and let me know. Send it to me in a private message if you want to. As we're walking along here, you guys can see that there's a lot of leaves on the ground. The flashlight kind of kills out the color of the leaves, but everything's really orange. And I have to tell you, when it's fall like this, you have to watch out for copperheads because they're the exact same color as those leaves. They definitely blend in. As I said, this trail is supposedly haunted. And really, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I've been on it hundreds of times, and I have never really seen anything. I have heard what sounds like voices many, many times. I'll tell you about one experience up here just a little ways, and then I'll tell you about another once we get to the Cone House, the Cone Manor. I guess I'll go ahead and tell you this story, everybody. Now, a couple of nights back, my brother and I, we came out for a night hike. We did about 8 miles on the opposite side of this park here. And we're pretty much getting close to being done. We got about maybe a mile left. And we're listening to an episode of Coast to Coast. And the topic of conversation is Ouija boards. And if you guys know anything about Ouija boards, you can supposedly use them to communicate with spirits. And from my research, it sounds like it's bad news. Basically, you're just opening yourself up to who knows what. It doesn't sound good. I've never heard of a good Ouija board experience. So we listened to this episode for about an hour, and they opened up the phone lines for callers. And this caller, he starts talking about this experience that he's had. And it's a pretty scary story, okay? And so it's really foggy. It's really, really dark. So we're walking along, we're listening to this story, and the flashlight, it like starts cycling through the modes. It's like bright, super bright, strobe, off, low, so on and so forth. Cycle, 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 cycle. And the story, I have to admit, is spooky. It's spooky, it's a spooky story. So I decided I'm gonna take out the battery, pop in a new one, maybe there's an issue there. So I take out the battery, and the flashlight is functioning correctly, so we carry on. We hike for maybe another 5 minutes, and basically the climax of that guy's story, the scariest part, is unfolding. And right when it hits that climax, the flashlight dies completely off, burnt out 100%. So we're out in the woods with no light. The flashlight is dead, listening to this very spooky story about Ouija boards and this guy's god-awful experience with what he calls demons. A very interesting event. Now, is that supernatural related? I have no idea. Is it a very odd coincidence that the flashlight, which has functioned terrifically for months, all of a sudden burned out in the middle of this story while we're out in the middle of nowhere surrounded by this thick fog? I don't know. You guys decide. So my question is for you all. Do you have any ghost stories to tell? Any experiences that you have had personally? Not stories that you've heard, but stuff that you've actually experienced. Maybe out while you're hiking, maybe while you're camping, maybe while you're at someone's house or your home. I'd love to hear it. Yeah. All right, my friends, it just dawned on me that I need to get out the other flashlight for testing purposes. All right, there we go. And this is the Supfire A6. All right, let's go ahead and give it a shot, see how she does here on the trail. Let's see, I think we're on the highest setting, but we'll go ahead and cycle through them real quick. So that'd be low, strobe, slow SOS, and the highest setting. Well, let's keep on going. As you can see there, my friends, it's starting to cloud up a little bit. The moon is now gone. The sky is getting cloudy. That's strange. Thought I heard someone walking behind me. Creepy. Now, actually, there is an animal over here in the corner. I'm gonna switch the camera around and see if it'll pick up on his glowing eyes. Maybe you guys could see that deer right there. Deer everywhere. We're back down in the field now, and we're going past the Gravesite. We got about a little bit over a mile to go. Now, if you happen to be a hunter, let me tell you, this is the place to be. Tons and tons of deer, whitetail, huge racks on them too. We got bears, bobcats. Every once in a while, someone reports seeing mountain lion. I love living in the mountains. We're almost back to that cool tree again. About to come out of the woods here and go down to the Cone Manor. All right, guys, as I was coming down here, just trucking along, and all of a sudden I hear whoosh. Startles me. I look over, and this is what I see. Hello, cows. How you guys doing? You guys startle me, for sure. Hey there, cool dude. Or girl, whatever. Well, I guess you could say that's karma right there. What goes around comes around. I howled like the wolf, startled those kids. The cow snorts at me and startles me, so I guess we're all pretty even. Alright, now that the cows have startled us, let's head down to the manor. Ew. Look at that spider. And there's some more. So there's the city. Beautiful. And take a look at this. That is the Cone Manor. supposedly a very haunted house. I've heard that from a number of people who I consider to be pretty legitimate, level-headed individuals. And, you know, I was talking about my previous experience with the Ouija board and the flashlight going out like that. Well, on numerous occasions, when I come out here with friends of mine, usually we start here and we'll go down this way and circle around and come back up. It's about 8 miles. You go down to a beautiful lake, and we always end here. And so we're just kicking back, we're relaxing from the nice walk. And usually we'll just sit here on the deck, and you can hear things inside of that house scooching around. Sounds like a table, like a really heavy oak table, whoosh, slide across the floor. And we've heard that probably 3 times now, just in the last couple of months. Pretty wild indeed. I mean, look at that place. Well, my friends, I want to thank you all so very much for watching this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. What a fantastic night hike. We got to scare some kids. Then karma kind of came back to us and we got startled by some cows. That's how it goes. If you guys have any questions for me, please feel free. Drop me a line, let me know. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. I'll see you guys around. Strength and honor.